What's up, everybody? Sorry, I was trying to do my best crazy eyes. Welcome to Campfire Discussions with Brandy, and tonight we're talking about this insane world we live in. So I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about because, thank you, by the way. Hi, guys. I love seeing the comments on the screen because it makes it really fun and interactive. So I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about tonight because we've been a little busy planning some events in town, some things we're doing, not collaborated with this show. And there's a lot going on. 4th of July is coming up and stuff like that. And I thought I wanted to touch on Roe v. Wade, but I also wanted to touch on, hi, Sarah. I wanted to touch on how crazy, everybody's acting. It's just like I was trying to, because I was commenting on the boys' show last night, Backwards Brothers. And as they're talking about Roe v. Wade, I found it really interesting. The biggest thing for me with this situation is everybody's reaction. If you're in a blue state, which most people that are upset are in a blue state, from what I've seen, now don't quote me on that, but most people that I've seen acting out and freaking out are in a blue state. This doesn't change anything for a blue state person. And this decision was a constitutional one because the federal government doesn't have a right to tell us what to do with our bodies, right? So it's giving it back to the state to decide what they will. The states have that choice. The federal government's just, the Supreme Court just decided we're taking the federal hands off of it. We'll let you guys do what you're going to do. And that was the constitutional decision. There is nothing in the Constitution that gives you a right to have an abortion. So we'll come back to that. We're also going to talk about Roe v. Wade. I have my own personal opinions, but like I said, I'm more amazed by the reactions. We're going to talk about just people being nuts. I mean, all you have to do is go online. Like, I really encourage you to look up Libs of TikTok on Twitter. And yeah, I only have Twitter to go to this person's Twitter. That's the only reason I have it. Because she literally just reposts what these radical liberals, not, your average everyday liberal, but radical liberals are posting online. And she literally just reposts it. And it's stuff that I would never see because the way the algorithms work, you don't, typically you see the same things over and over again. So it's really interesting to see some of this radicalness. And I know there's radical on both sides, but man, oh man, I literally took 5 minutes today. And within 5 minutes had 3 times as much pictures as I could give my producer to give tonight because of craziness. That's how insane the world has gotten. Dorinda says hi. Tony says, love the title. Have a great show tonight. Thank you. Sarah D says hi. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Dorinda. Sapat says, we make our own choices. Just make a good logical choice. Yeah, exactly. So as we're talking about this, so I don't know if you guys know, but there was a mass amount of Amazon employees that wrote, hi, Mom, a mass amount of Amazon employees that wrote an open letter to Amazon. And I have the picture here, and we're going to read a little bit of it. I just found it really interesting. If we pull it up. He's working on it, guys. I'm going to start.
I had to restart the stream deck, so give me a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start reading it, and then he'll post it up there when we get there. So it's an open letter to Amazon or Amazon leadership from Amazon employees. And it says, we, the undersigned, come to you today to request immediate and decisive action against the threat to our basic human rights with this overturning of Roe v. Wade. As part of Amazon's wide-reaching efforts towards a more inclusive and diverse workforce, we believe that Amazon cannot let this recent decision go unanswered because, Amazon has anything to do with our government. We ask Amazon, the world's best employer, to actively defend against this assault on our liberty. Anyways, it goes on and on and on. What? Since when do private corporations have any say on what our government does. These corporations need to get the heck out of our politics, honestly, for one. For two, the fact that Amazon workers thought we're going to write this and the Amazon corporation, which most likely will make a stink because this is what's been happening lately with Disney and these other, Jim says, is he sleeping? No, he's on it now. With Disney and all these other corporations. But are they not realizing that when they make political statements and they make political moves that they're screwing themselves? So what do these workers expect Amazon to do? They expect them to put pressure on these Supreme Court justices, just like Maxine Waters, who's calling out basically to harm these Supreme Court justices, to stand in front of their homes and picket and try to influence them and push them into a decision. And that's illegal, by the way. What do they think they're going to do? I honestly am not sure how we got to this place where we can tell on mommy because daddy isn't doing what we like. I'm sorry, but private corporations have nothing to do and shouldn't. I mean, they do technically if you look into it with all the money they give and all that stuff that goes on in our government. But private corporations should have nothing to do with our government. And there's a lot of stuff coming out, especially in states like ours. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out. A lot of things that are being brought to light that have been happening for years and years. Hopefully. There it is. I lost my thought too, dang it. Joel was just telling me he thought it was really interesting how much
I'm working on technical difficulties.
He's working behind the scenes, guys. He was just telling me yesterday how interesting it was how much I've gotten into politics. And I think it's the times we're in. Unfortunately, we kind of have to be sort of. I mean, you can still try to stay out of it, which, a lot of times I do. I'm not talking politics every day of my life. But when it comes to the certain issues, I will fight till the end for it, kids being one of them. That includes our kids while they're in the belly. So anyways, all this to say, I think it's a little bit ridiculous to expect your employer to do anything about what the government decision is and what our Supreme Court justices were doing, especially when you're freaking out over a decision that really doesn't affect any blue states. It affects people in red states, but look at all the money that's being thrown at them. Like there's vouchers being thrown at people that are in a state, for example, if they're in a red state like Oklahoma and they can't get an abortion there now because the state says no. The state has always said no, but now the federal government isn't going to force the state to do it, basically. That's the difference. And so you've got people like Amazon and other companies and Disney and actual states like the lovely Oregon that are handing out vouchers, thousands of dollars worth of vouchers so that people can travel to their lovely blue states and get those abortions. So it's not what it's being made out to be. And I'm not going to get deep into, Tadashi Da. Huh. Interesting. Sorry, I'm reading the comment there. I'm not going to get into like the tiny, tiny little percentages of like rape and incest and stuff like that, because we all know that's less than 1% of reason abortions are had. I'm talking about those that use it as a form of birth control, blah, 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 blah. And I'm hearing all kinds of stuff. Like the people on The View are saying like, well, if they can control us having babies, then we should be able to give them all vasectomies, or we should take their Viagra away because it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And I 100% agree that men should be responsible. So say a man makes a baby. Yes, we need the justice system to hold them more responsible for the children that they make. 100%. That does not mean taking away their Viagra. It doesn't even make sense. Like, sure, take it away, but that doesn't change anything. I mean, this is just the craziness that's going on. Sapat says, that sucks. can't really boycott Amazon. They shouldn't be paying people off to make decisions on your behalf of getting abortions. Joel said fatherly responsibility also means fatherly rights. Yep, I agree with that. And, you know, here's the thing. I get the argument of women. I'm a mom. I grew a child in my belly. I had a very tough pregnancy, but a very beautiful pregnancy all at the same time.
Awkward.
I could have died. I'm a very high risk person. Riley was 100% a miracle, and I could have made the decision that was my life was more important than hers. I could have done that, but I didn't because, for one, we fought for that kid like crazy to get her. For two, her life matters. For three, my life isn't more important than hers. And four, it's just not, in my heart, in my brain, it's not something I could do. Now, does that mean I judge someone who's done that? No, I don't. I don't really judge anybody, honestly. I'm probably one of the least judgmental people you'll ever meet. But it does mean that we should all be able to have these discussions without freaking out and acting loony, okay? It is not a violation of our basic human rights. It is not dangerous. The sky is not falling, okay? Let's calm down. That's all I'm saying. Oh, great. So I hear the ice cream truck outside our house, and I know what that means as a mom. So let's hope and pray that my child doesn't come running out here. Anyway, so I have this other picture I wanted to show you of this doctor lady who got herself in some trouble. She says, I prescribe meds. I can also choose not to prescribe them. So from now on, if you are a white male who votes conservative, your penis needs to ask God for the power to rise. No more Viagra. Okay. Again, I don't understand why they're going to that point. Like, whatever, no more Viagra. But, like, seriously, that's not the same thing. And there's another picture here that shows what happened to that lovely lady who decided that she wanted to post that. So she was a practice registered nurse who posted a discriminatory message, and she had to write this. I am deeply sorry for my posts on social media. I allowed my personal feelings to spill out. Those hateful words are not aligned with how I have provided care to my patients. Sarah Bush Lincoln is a wonderful organization, and my actions have tarnished its reputation. I have resigned and know my patients will be well cared for. And then the president and CEO of this place said, our mission is to provide exceptional care to all. That means we provide care to everyone, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, disability, income, national origin, cultural, personal values, beliefs, and preferences. Our mission is woven through our fabric, and discriminatory practices are not tolerated. We are sorry this issue has caused such turmoil. We will continue to stand behind our mission and provide care to all. I have a hard time believing that that's the mission if somebody who is a part of your corporation or your organization is a part of that felt so freely that they could speak that way. And that's just my personal opinion, and don't take that to the bank. That's just my own heart. If you created a culture where that was not tolerated, she would not have felt comfortable to post that. She would not have done it. Now, sure, they're taking actions after the fact because they got caught. She got caught. They're hitting tons of backlash because we do see the world is turning back and is changing a little bit and is getting sick of this loony bin crap. So they are facing backlash and they're having to take that back. But do I think that they actually create that culture? No. I've witnessed myself the medical field go way down. I've witnessed doctors withhold treatment simply because I don't have the vaccine. That's happened to me personally. I've witnessed doctors treat people with chronic illness terribly. Again, myself or friends of mine. I've witnessed medical professionals not follow the Hippocratic Oath many, many times over. So do I believe that they had this culture? No. Do I think that they're caught and they're trying to clean up their mess? Yes. Sapat said, agreed, the father has a right to make a decision. Yes, they do. And like I said, just because it's not their body that the baby is growing in doesn't mean they don't have a say what happens to that child. Now, there are, I mean, yeah, for sure. It affects the woman more physically. Sure, you can't deny that. Men cannot get pregnant despite what is being said on the TV and in the world right now. Men cannot get pregnant. Only women can get pregnant. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that women can do that is they're trying to take away from us. So yes, fathers have a right to make that decision. Women are the only ones that carry the baby, but fathers also are a part of that child, and they have a right to talk about it and to make those decisions together. Okay, so before we get to the next topic, I want to talk about one of our sponsors, Miss Mary Whitney and Sean Drinkwine from Whitney Signs. They are incredible. They do so much for this community. They do incredible work. They obviously support everything that we've ever done as far as our nonprofit that we have, the show that we do. They're just incredible people. They support this whole town no matter what. They don't care where you come from, what you're doing, as long as you're a good person. And that's pretty all right with me. And they do incredible work. So let's check out this video. Okay, so Joel said it takes two to tango. Yes, it does. So before we move on to more of the World Wide Web of craziness, I wanted to show you this post that somebody else had posted. And this is the kind of behavior I'm talking about that's dangerous. And yeah, here it is. The 6 justices who overturned Roe should never know peace again. It is our civic duty to accost them every time they are in public. They are pariahs. Since women don't have their rights, these justices should never have a peaceful moment in public again. Are you kidding me? How is it that taking a decision out of the federal government's hands, less government in charge, is so damaging and so detrimental to you that you want to accost, which means like beat the crap out of or assault or whatever you accost means to you, justices, and treat them that way for making a decision? I can't even wrap my head around that behavior. I don't care how angry I am about a decision. There's no way in heck I would put out there to be violent towards somebody. Anybody, honestly. And I can't, like, I don't understand why people are so, well, maybe I do, because our world is kind of going in a really weird direction right now.
Awkward.
But people are losing their minds over this. And if you sit down and you look at it, it's not that crazy. It's not that big of a deal. Even if you're pro-abortion or you're pro-choice, I guess is the way to put it. But, you know, pro-choice is pro-abortion in my eyes, but that's my personal opinion. No judging on that. That is my personal opinion. Even if you're pro-choice, you look at this, it's not like, for example, here in Oregon, it doesn't change a dang thing. In fact, Führer Brown is paying people to come to Oregon to kill more babies. So, like, shut up about it. Calm down. Sarah D says it's demonic. Yes, I actually agree to that. And Joel says, yes, it is. Anyways, so there was another, hold on, I'm looking at my pictures here. Maybe I already read that one. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, it's not the worst thing that Oregon's doing. Oh my gosh, Oregon. Let's talk about Oregon for a minute. Okay. So Oregon, there's a lot of crap happening in Oregon, including Clackamas County where we live. There's a lot of things coming to roost, and I really cannot wait to see some things change. There's a lot of problems in our state because it has been a one-party ruled for so long. It has been ruled by one party for so long. We need a change really, really, really bad. And the way to get that change is to go to the voting booth. So please do that. It's really important, okay? Like the decision in September about healthcare is literally determining people's lives. Like, no joke. People like me, people who need quality healthcare can die if that is the wrong decision. But I'll tell you what, if they make the wrong decision, I'm not going to be calling on people to accost them. Just saying. Also, this midterm election is super, super, super important. I mean, we need to see some changes, you guys. So I wanted to show you something really funny. And this is in Canada, but this is happening in America too. So first we're going to put the picture up. Because at first, even Joel, he was like, is this a typo? It's not a typo. It's the picture. Okay. So news release, missing woman, Ryerson Avenue and Bathurst Street area, Isabella DeGrace, 27. Does this look like Isabella to you? Not to me. And so Joel's like, this has to be a typo. This has to be a typo. But if we go to the next picture, you'll see that it's not, because they use so many pronouns and so many descriptions. The Toronto Police Service requests the public assistant in locating a missing woman. Isabella DeGrace, 27, was last seen on Saturday, June 25th at 3 a.m. in the Ryerson Avenue and Bathurst Street area. She is described as a 5'10" with thin build, shaggy blonde hair, and a full goatee. She was last seen wearing a black t-shirt and gray pants. Police are concerned for her safety. What the frick? I can't even. Okay, I'll read your comments and then we'll talk about this. If females don't have rights, they wouldn't be able to speak their minds and post anything. But us females have rights. No universal healthcare. I agree, Spot. That must have been one ugly baby. That's a dude. Isabella grows a fine beard. That dude ran away from the person calling him a girl. Oh my gosh. Okay. If you can't see through what is happening with this specific human being, then you might be a little dense, because I can see it in 5 seconds. This man wants to be identified as a female, so because he's probably a longtime criminal, and he knows if he identifies as a female, guess what? He gets to go to female prison and probably impregnate females and have babies in prison. I mean, like, there's things like that happening right now where men that identify as women are going to female prisons, and then they're raping fellow prisoners and getting them knocked up, and it's just a crazy world. Like, this is what I'm talking about. How have we come to this? Looks like he smoked some really good stuff. Yeah, he doesn't look right. I mean, he's probably either mentally ill or on some sort of drugs. I mean, well, if he's identifying as a female, he is mentally ill in that way. But I mean, how did we come to this? I'd really like to know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Like, how do you think we got to the point where me saying on this show, for example, that is not a female is so controversial that they might take me off Facebook, or I get yelled at for having these views. Like, I get told I'm a crazy militia leader sometimes because I don't believe in some of these progressive views. It's really comical. You know, I would love to know what your guys' perspective is on how we got to this point. I know what my perspective is. I think that we've been sitting back too long. I think we've been allowing way too much to happen. And I think now we got to fix it, because if we don't, it's just going to get even worse. There's no coming out of this. Yeah, that idiot. I'm so glad she's gone soon, but God, we cannot have Kotek in here, you guys, or Kotex. We cannot get that chick in here. We really, 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 really cannot have Kotex. So regardless of your feelings on Christine Drazen, I personally know her, and I know she's a really good soul. Please vote red, because we cannot have Kotex. Okay? Looks like he smoked some really good stuff. He would make a great model for Nair Kotex. Yeah, Tina Kotek is her name, but I call her Kotex. Like tampons, you know? That's her nickname. Anyways, Tina Kotek is who's running for governor against Christine Drazen here in our state. And if you know anything about Governor Brown, who is one of the least liked governors in the country. Tina Kotek is her protege and 10 times worse. So we have to do whatever it takes not to get her in. Anyways, so what I like to do when I'm really frustrated and where I'm going after the show, because this lovely, wonderful human being is donating to the community once again, and so I'm running over there to help gather that donation, is a wonderful pizza place in our town. It's the best pizza I've ever had, and it's also a amazing environment for family and friends and kids. They have games, they have pool, they have a nice adult area with some drinking, and it's just the best place ever. It's a great place to hang out with the family. It's a great place to hang out later at night with your adult friends. It is great all around. Check out this video. I love her. She's awesome. Okay, so Joel said, like, tampons. Sarah D said, our culture is being destroyed on purpose. It's part of the 45 goals for the communist takeover of America. Yes, 100% agreed. And you know what? When we talk about that, we keep getting called conspiracy theorists. Have you been called that, Sarah? Because I have. And the more we get down the line, the further we go into this deep, dark hole, the more apparent it is what's going on. Like, I watched a movie last night with Joel, and it was made in 2017, and it was called Geostorm. Now, it was a good movie, okay? But, man, was there some crazy stuff put in there that is really pushing the globalist propaganda, the global, we're all one human race, and all this stuff. Globalism is a really bad idea, and that's what's been being pushed for so long, and now it's being pushed into our media, it's being pushed into our books, it's being pushed to TV, movies, school, everywhere you look, and it's just insane. Joel said, it's only conspiracy until it becomes truth. Yep. Oh, yes, I've been called that for many years. Well, join the club, my dear. We're there with you. Jim said, and Shamia Fagan is the Democrat in line for the governorship. What? I didn't know that. Anyways, I thought it was Tina Kotek. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't watching. Oh gosh, here we are going down into the little woo. But really, it does feel like we're in the Twilight Zone. I mean, you walk around, people expect you to assume the proper pronouns, and if you don't, they can unleash on you and you're the bad guy. If you disagree, you're called racist. If you disagree, you're called all kinds of things. Instead of talking to people and getting to know people and actually having a conversation, we've gotten to a point where we're all so angry. We're all so angry that we're just not listening anymore. The season of Crazy Horse. Yep. Oh, Shamia Fagan is the next Democrat in line for governorship after Kotek. Okay. If you truly want Christine Drazan to win, you have to get rid of Betsy Johnson. Betsy is a lifelong Democrat that is running as an independent and spouting conservative views in order to draw votes. Yep, away from Christine. Johnson is just a spoiler in the race. Don't vote for her. Yes, that is absolutely true. John, you are 100% right. Betsy Johnson is a lifelong Democrat. She has not changed. She is not conservative. She is not independent. She even said that she would do this in order to split the vote, because they're worried that a conservative is going to win. So they're doing everything in their power to stop it. So do not fall for that. Betsy Johnson can fake it all she wants, but she's not who she says she is. But like I said, we are living in times that are wacky. My motto is, like I tell everybody, I can disagree with you till the cows come home and I can still love you to death. The thing is, most people, the radical left and the radical right are a very small minority of people. They're just really, really, really loud. Most people aren't radical either way. Most people want good things. Most people don't want our kids indoctrinated. Most people want our kids to be healthy and happy and grow up not confused and mentally ill. Most people want our families to be able to build something and support our families and not be in huge amounts of debt. Most people are good. They just have a different perspective on how to get there. And the media media and the government and other people have done a really fantastic job of dividing us and putting us in our corners. Like, it's like a boxing ring. Instead of it being, for example, a conference table where we're going to sit down and talk and learn from each other and come up with solutions, they've put us in a boxing ring. And so we're on this corner, they're on that corner, and we're ready to just punch the lights out of each other. And that's what they want. I mean, that's what they want. Someone said, fake it till you break it. That's Biden's motto. That's true. I mean, I thought I was the only one that fell going up the stairs, but I guess I'm not. I would settle for quiet. LOL. Yeah. I hear you on that. Yeah. I'm not joking when I say that. But yeah, I think we've got to find a way to calm down, stop going crazy over issues that are being poked at us. We're being poked, basically. And everything is done for a reason. Everything is done to get us to be angry, to get us to fight each other. Because if we fight each other, we're not stopping what they're doing. We're just fighting each other. It's like monkeys in a pen. They're throwing bananas at us and having us fight over the banana while they're over here ruining our lives. If you're fighting each other, then you won't see what they're doing. Exactly. Divide and conquer. Exactly. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. How do we fix this? What do we do from here? Where do we go? All we need is love. Love, love is all we need. Yeah, that's one of them. I mean, heck, we have people talking about us that like to make up rumors, but anybody that's met us, except for a small few that have wronged us, but anybody that actually meets us and talks to us and has a conversation specifically with myself or my husband knows that we will talk to anybody and I'll learn from anyone. And I think we all need to have that perspective where we're willing to have those conversations. It might not be so easy. It might not be easy to sit there and talk to somebody who disagrees with something that is so close to your heart. But you can learn a lot from each other. Be the light that shines in the darkness. I fully agree with that. And I'm sorry I'm not painting tonight. I need to get back to that. But with everything going on this weekend, I just didn't have it in me. Another thing you can do is peacefully protest. You can peacefully fight these issues by going to your school board, by going to your city council meeting, by, like I said, having conversations with your neighbors. I just met one of our new neighbors today, and he's pretty awesome. Those kinds of things. Going around and asking if somebody needs a hand, bringing pie or doing a meal train when somebody's sick, or getting involved, like Joel said, talking to people, being there for people. Stop letting the issues dictate what you do. Yes, we need to fight the issues and we need to be passionate about it. But when you're not fighting those issues and you're not having to go to City Hall or, to the state capitol or whatever you're doing to fight those issues, on those other times, you need to be loving people and taking care of each other, because the government certainly isn't taking care of us. The media certainly isn't taking care of us. If we're not taking care of each other, who's going to? You know what I mean? Everyone loves pie. Yes, that's true. Or cake or ice cream or some other dessert or, a smile, a hug, anything. But one great way that I've found to say, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to do, is by joining the Pop Squad. Now, the Pop Squad is what we call our Pissed Off Patriot Squad, which is like this new line of gear we have, which, if you're interested in checking out some of the new stuff we've created, you can come to an event that Estacada is having up at Hillockburn Farms on July 3rd from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Backwoods Brothers will have a booth there. And some of our gear will be there. Some of our merchandise will be there. But in the meantime, check out this commercial for Pissed Off Patriot gear. We're back. Yes, Joel's laughing at me. A people united cannot be broken, but those divided are easily controlled and manipulated. Yep, that's where we're at, you guys. We ordered a bunch of merchandise. That's what Joel said. Yep, the boys ordered a bunch of merchandise. They're going to have it there at the event. Come check it out because it's really cool. And it's a great way to say, you know what? We're not going to stand for this crap anymore. We're going to fight back, and we're going to take care of each other because nobody else is going to do it for us. Anyways. Yeah, that's right. So, I do want to see your guys' comments come in. I know I'm probably going to be ending this soon because I don't have much else I wanted to talk about tonight. I thought I was going to rant a little bit more. I guess I could talk more about this Roe v. Wade stuff, but I know it's been talked a lot about, and I know people are probably tired of it. It's been kind of over talked about, over examined, and clearly over freaked out about. But there's also another decision the Supreme Court justice has made this month, and that was that coach that was praying that got fired. They decided that it was unconstitutional for that to happen because that was a government-funded place that he worked at. I thought that was pretty awesome. So John Nieder says, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, black, white, Asian, indigenous, gay, brown, lesbian, transgender, old, young, and a lot more are all little government boxes that we are supposed to put ourselves and others in to keep us separated and angry at each other. Don't buy into the BS. We are all just people. 100% agree with that. And I tell people that almost every day. You'd be shocked at the kind of friends you will make when you're willing to open up your heart to people that you might disagree with or might be put in one of those little boxes that you've been indoctrinated to hate or indoctrinated to be angry at or told to fight with. You'd be amazed at what kind of world opens up when you are willing to welcome anybody into your circle. Now, there's some guidelines here, okay? Being open and loving to people does not mean allowing people to destroy you. It does not mean that. You still can protect yourself. You still, I'm very careful with who I trust with my most personal information. But when it comes down to loving people and taking care of people, I will take care of Joe Blow on the side of the road. I don't care who it is. And if we all acted that way, if we all opened our arms to each other, the government wouldn't have as much power as they do. That power would be very limited if we just band together and stop separating ourselves into these boxes, these little boxes. And if you've noticed over the years, there's more and more boxes popping up, more and more forms of separation popping up. And now our kids are finding ways to separate themselves. Not only do they have to, at a very young age, decide what sexuality they are or what gender they are, now it's cool to be depressed. Did you know that? It's cool to have a mental illness. It's cool to be different. Now, when I was a kid, it was cool to be different. Like emo and punk rock and stuff like that was our thing. And hipster didn't come till later, but it was cool to be a little bit sad or a little bit emo. But we weren't taking it to the level that these kids are taking it. This is the kind of destruction that is happening with this division and this craziness of putting us all into these separate little tiny little boxes and labeling everything, every little thing. You find these people online that are victims and trauma bonding and bonding themselves with this victim status. And if you don't have at least 10 victim labels, then something's wrong with you. It's not white privilege, it's victim privilege. And the more victimhood boxes you can check, the more privilege you have. And our kids are learning this. So instead of giving themselves, taking responsibility for their actions and facing the consequences of their actions and standing up for what's right, they're actually being taught that if you click this box, this victim box here, and this victim box here, and this victim box here, and you can match all these little boxes, then you don't have to be responsible for anything. It's not your fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's that person's fault for looking at me funny or whispering in somebody else's ear how they must be talking about me. I mean, this is what our kids are going through because of this mentality. So we need to find a way to break through that. So stop labeling yourself. Stop labeling other people. Stop falling for it. And just focus on being you and loving each other. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So anyways, like I said, I knew I'd be ending early tonight, but that's okay because sometimes you don't need a full hour of me jabbering. I hope you guys have a really good night. And also, before I go, don't forget if you're a local, Saturday night, there's a First Responders Appreciation Dinner happening at Hillockburn Farm, which is off Hillockburn Road, like 5 miles away from town center. It's really close. That is going to be really awesome. A bunch of people sponsoring it. A nonprofit is running it. And then the next day, there's a huge, it's called the Estacada Farm Festival. There's going to be vendors and a carnival. Lots of fun happening. Then after that, on the 4th of July, our town is doing a parade. And then there's also another vendor event happening by our food cart pod. So everybody come, have fun, come together, enjoy each other. Don't fight, just have fun, support one another, support small businesses, support each other, love each other. And John, yes, we'll see you tomorrow because we're coming and playing in your creek. And everyone else, hopefully we'll see you this weekend. If you're not local, have a safe and happy holiday. Happy 4th of July. Remember what it actually is for. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.